Fabulous people, welcome to the channel for all the babes who create their own life trends. I've been traveling the world pretty much my whole life, and there are so many airport tips that I've gathered throughout the years. So today I'm going to share with you 15 airport hacks you need to know. These are some of the best travel hacks and tips that will be essential for your next trip and will save you lots of time, money, and airport drama. Now, before we begin, please remember to smack that like button. And if you're new to my channel and my vibe, and the vibe of this channel resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe. All right, fabulous people, now let's get started. All right, tip number 1. If you plan on traveling to Europe and flying with budget airlines or low-cost airlines like Ryanair, I recommend booking a ticket directly on their website versus other third-party websites. Not only it will be much cheaper, but you also won't have to go through the verification process where you will have to fill out all your information, take selfies, pictures of your travel document, and pay an additional fee. This has been such a game changer for me, and I know it will be a game changer for you, especially if you plan on traveling Europe. Tip number 2, and that goes more for the first-time travelers. Guys, make sure that you are not relying on airport Wi-Fi for internet access, especially if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get to the airport and download our boarding passes. Not a good idea, because airport Wi-Fi is not always guaranteed. There are plenty of airports throughout the world who unfortunately do not still have Wi-Fi. And the worst part, I think, about this whole experience is that some airlines like Ryanair, they will charge you an extra fee if you do decide to check in at the airport. So what I strongly recommend is to check in at home at your convenience without no lines and no rush, and download your boarding passes. And I actually go one step further and actually screenshot my boarding pass and always have it saved in my phone. Again, just in case I don't have access to the internet at the airport. Pre-downloading is also a great travel hack to beat boredom at the airport or on the plane. Most streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime allow you to download several episodes, entire movies, documentaries, or podcasts so you can enjoy them when you're offline. And as a bonus, watching content offline actually uses less battery power from your device. All right, travel tip hack, airport hack number 3, and that is downloading mobile app of your airline. And I know, fabulous people, I personally am not a big fan of downloading more apps on my phone. I don't like it, I get lost in them, but I cannot tell you how useful it has been downloading a mobile app of the airline I'm traveling with. They will give you the best up-to-date information on your flight, including the gate, any delays. Even in some cases, they will send you a notification in case of a strike, which does happen quite often in Europe. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then I strongly recommend for you to watch my video on things you must know before traveling to Europe. I will make sure that this video pops somewhere here or here, but if you plan on traveling to Europe in 2023 or 2024, trust me, you will find this video extremely helpful. Now, let's say you're running a little bit late at the airport and you're stressing out. One of my absolute favorite airport hacks is to pick the check-in counter closest to your airline's business class desk. A lot of times that will shorten your waiting time. Typically, as soon as everyone checks in there, which usually happens quite fast as normally those lines are shorter, the desk attendant starts helping the economy travelers. So just keep an eye out to see when they open it up so you can be the first in line. Also, when you start queuing for the security checks, make sure that you always choose the line that is on the left. that is where fewer people naturally tend to go to because most people are right-handed. Not my case, a lefty here, but most people do choose the right side. So choose the left side again if you're running late at the airport. The next tip kind of goes along with it, and that is dressing appropriately for the airport. And what I mean by that is make sure that when you're dressing for the airport, one thing that you keep in mind is that you will be going through a security check. And that means things with metal buckles like belts or shoes, they're no-go. You will be stopped and you will delay the entire process for yourself and for your fellow travelers. So just keep that in mind. And fabulous people, make sure that you are wearing shoes that can be easily removed at the airport, because I cannot tell you how many times in the past I wanted to be fancy pants wearing some really cool shoes at the airport that took me for ages to take off. Not anymore. Those times are behind me. But one cool thing that I noticed recently at the European airports is that they no longer require for you to remove your shoes. Pretty cool. I like it. I don't know for how long this is going to last, but just something for you to keep in mind if you plan on traveling to Europe soon. Now, the next tip has to do with wet wipes. Guys, I was actually very surprised when I found out that the dirtiest place at the airport is actually not a bathroom, it's actually bins at the security checkpoint. Pretty wild, but I guess it makes sense just thinking what people put in there. Again, dirty shoes, I don't know, diapers, anyway, you know what goes into those bins. So it's always a great idea to have wet wipes or hand sanitizer at hand in case you need it after those bins, but also just to clean your hands before the meal or to clean the tray table on the airplane. Trust me, you will have plenty of use for those wipes. Just throw a pack in your bag. It will not take a lot of space, but it will save you from tons of germs and bacteria. All right, the next tip has to do with long layovers. Now, if you have some time before your flight or a long layover, I recommend checking all the perks your credit card has to offer, as you might have free access to numerous airport lounges. It's absolutely worth it for the peace and quiet, especially at busy times. Now I know, fabulous people, it might seem like a common sense for a lot of you, but trust me, I cannot tell you how many people still don't know all the perks their credit cards have to offer. So this is just a friendly reminder if you are not sure to check in with your credit card. Now, if you don't have access to the airport lounges and your layover is longer than 3 hours, in my opinion, it is totally worth it to purchase and access to a lounge. With it, in addition to peace and quiet from the airport noise, you will get unlimited food and drinks, usually of a really nice quality, comfortable chairs, excellent Wi-Fi, and some airport lounges even offer a shower that you might need if you have longer than 3 hour layover. So it's just, in my opinion, totally worth it. Now, the next airport hack has to do with bathrooms. In case you're wondering what is the cleanest bathroom at the airport, multiple studies suggest that it is actually a bathroom right outside of the security checkpoint, because it tends to be less busy. Next travel tip has to do with knowing your airport. In my opinion, one of the easiest airport hacks is to do some pre-flight research of your airport. Most of the airports allow you to download their terminal maps or at least check them online, so you can get an idea of facilities, shops, restaurants, and gate locations. You can even pre-plan a layover full of fun activities like booking a manicure. But it's even more important if you have a short layover and need to get to your next flight as soon as possible. One of the best travel advice that I recently learned and want to share with you is to collect full-size toiletries at the airport. Yes, fabulous people, those of you who don't know, now you know, now you can. Shops like Duty Free will now allow you to pre-order those items online and then collect them upon arrival to the airport. This has been such a game changer for me, fabulous people, because I always run out of space in my suitcase when I start packing for vacations. And on top of that, I'm always the one with overweight bags. So having that convenience of purchasing items online and then picking them up at the duty free, it's been so incredible. And of course, I wanted to make sure that I'm sharing this information with you. And if you like, let's say, a perfume, or you want to get some presents, but you just don't want to carry all of that with you to vacation, you can purchase those things and then leave it at the counter and pick them up on your way back from the vacation. So in case you didn't know you can do that, now you know, fabulous people. All right, the next tip has to do with dressing comfortably for the airport. And what I mean by that is, of course, to have a nice put together outfit, especially if you plan on traveling in Europe. Everyone definitely puts an effort here, even when they are at the airport. But of course, you need to be comfortable. And part of that is making sure that you do pack a nice light scarf with you, or a cardigan, or a coat, something to throw over your shoulders when you're at the airport or on the plane, because if you're cold-natured like myself, you will be cold. Trust me, you will be cold. Now, in addition to that, again, this is something that I always do, just in case your bag is already getting pretty out there with the weight, then make sure that you put your heaviest coat or heaviest sweater on you and travel in it. That way you will save some room in your suitcase, and hopefully it will not be overweight. And the same goes for shoes. I always wear my heaviest, chunkiest shoes at the airport, because again, just to make sure that my bag is not going to be overweight. In my opinion, one of the most underrated travel hacks has to do with carrying your own water bottle. This way you will save tons of money on overpriced water bottles at the airport and reduce the use of plastic. Nowadays, many airports have a water fountain or refill station near the restrooms, and you can always ask for your bottle to be refilled for free in cafes around the terminal. And fabulous people, make sure that you give yourself a peace of mind in case your luggage gets delayed or goes missing by bringing those just in case items like a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, maybe a change of underwear, just in case. I know it happens rarely, but it happened recently to one of the clients of my travel agency. So just in case it happens, you always have a backup. Now, if your bag starts getting pretty heavy, something that unfortunately happens to me all the time, I actually have to pack and leave for the airport in a few hours. So just keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. But if that starts to happen, what I always do and what I always recommend is to take the heaviest items from your suitcase and put them into your personal bag. Most airlines, even including Ryanair, don't weigh those personal items, personal bags, the ones that go underneath your seat. So I always carry all my heaviest items in that bag. It's something that I've been doing for years, and I really hope that this will help you guys to avoid those fees for overweight bags. All right, fabulous people, my final travel tip before I completely lose my voice, and that is honestly one of my absolute personal favorite travel tips, something that I absolutely have to share with you. Make sure, guys, that when you arrive at your destination, you know exactly how much, or at least approximately, it costs to get from the airport to your hotel or Airbnb. And the reason why I'm saying this is because in Europe, not in all the countries, but in a lot of countries, that price is already preset. For example, in Italy, there is already a preset price of how much it costs to get from Fiumicino Airport to the city center or Ciampino Airport to the city center. And it is very important that you know that price, because a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of tourists do get overcharged because they don't know, so the taxi driver gives them the price, and unfortunately they paid. And one of the excuses that I recently heard by the taxi drivers in Italy that they give to tourists is that they say, yes, it's true, there is a preset price, but because your Airbnb or because your hotel was a bit further, that's why I'm charging extra. Nope, doesn't work like that. There is a preset price from the Fiumicino or Ciampino Airport to your location, no matter where you are staying. So just please keep that in mind and always check prior to your arrival to any country, be it in Europe, Asia, or anywhere else in the world. All right, fabulous people, thank you so much for watching this video. I truly hope that you found these travel tips and hacks useful and beneficial, and now you know exactly how to travel comfortably. And of course, if you have your own special airport tips or hacks, please feel free to share them in the comments down below with your fellow travelers. And before you guys go and start packing for your trip, please remember to smack that like button. And if you're new to my channel and my vibe and the vibe of this channel resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe. And I truly hope to see you all in my next video.